Greetings once again in the name of Yahweh through Yahshua Messiah. I'm thankful that you tuned in to learn a little bit more and share a little bit more with me here, as far as the law. We've discussed other topics, as far as calling Yahweh Lord. You're basically, of the Nicolaitans, calling on Baal. But now I want to discuss the law. A lot of different videos out on the web, some saying that it's done away with, some saying it's not done away with. But I think where the biggest problem is that some people don't even know what the law really is, or the commandments. So for this moment, I want to go to Exodus 20 and verse 1 and start, and I'm going to basically just speak out what these commandments are. And Yahweh spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh your father, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no gods before me. Yahweh's not a god. And the way they translated that was to make it appear as if he was a god, but he's not. In fact, when Moshe was in Egypt, they had all the books brought forth of the names of all the gods, and Pharaoh could not find Yahweh in there because Yahweh's not a god. Verse 4, Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, your father, am a jealous father. Now, Yahweh can be jealous. We're not supposed to be, but you have to realize everything belongs to Yahweh. He created it. Then he gave it all to his son, Yahshua Messiah. And he's jealous over what he made. He doesn't want Satan to be taking any one of you. He wants none of you to perish. And there's nothing wrong with him being jealous. He owns everything. Now, if you was to be jealous, that's a sinful thing because you don't own anything. Plain and simple. For I am a jealous father, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Of them that hate me. Now, a little bit later on, I'm going to show you what he's talking about and how it is that you hate Yahweh. Verse 6, And shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. You can't keep the commandments without having love. And you can't have love without keeping the commandments. We'll get into that a little bit too. Verse 7, Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh your father in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. And that's the reason why they forgot my father's name. For Baal, for Lord, for El, for Elohim, and God, and Adonai, and all these different names, Jehovah, and just so many titles and names of demons, and Satan herself is what they forgot my father's name for. Verse 8, Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the seventh is the Sabbath of Yahweh your father. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Alright, it's not Sunday. Sunday is not the seventh day. That's the first day of the week. Seventh day Sabbath starts Friday night at sundown, and it ends Saturday night at sundown. Wherever you're located, that's when it is. Verse 12, Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh your father gives to thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. But then, of course, they asked Moshe not to allow Yahweh to speak to them anymore, lest they die. All right, well, there you have it. There's 10 things, 10 commandments there. But Yahshua himself said that if you keep the 2 commandments, the first 2, to honor your father, love him with all your heart, mind, soul, might, all that, and that you love your neighbor as yourself, then you've kept all 10 commandments. You've kept all the laws, the judgments, the statutes, the precepts, and you believe the prophecies. It's just that simple. 2 laws, 2 commandments. Now, what a lot of people may not realize or recognize is the fact that what the laws are in your scriptures is how to keep the 10 commandments. They claim there's 613 laws. Sometimes they use the same law as a negative and a positive, so one law would be counted as 2. You know, so however many there is, it really doesn't matter. It just shows you what you must do to keep the commandments. You can't just break one commandment. When you break one, you broke them all. In fact, the laws, they intertwine with each other throughout the commandments. It's like a big old spider web. I mean, any time that there's a mistake made in one commandment, it's kind of like calling your Creator Lord. Or Baal. I mean, you might as well just call him Baal if you're going to call him Lord. It means the same exact thing. But when you call your Father Lord, or Baal, or El, or Adonai, and Jehovah, and all these names that are improper, you're basically not loving your Father because He told you not to call on the name of gods to begin with. He forbids it. And yet you go ahead and you call on them using the names you think feels best for you, but all you're doing is digging your own grave. Now, as far as the laws being done away with, let's take a look at what Yahshua our Messiah said. And this is Matthew chapter 5, and I'm going to start with verse 16. And, well, actually 15. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your righteous works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Now, he keeps mentioning this light, but do you have any idea what the light really is? It's, we'll get into that a little later in another one. Verse 17. Well, let's read 16 again. It says, Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your righteous works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Don't even think. Think not. Don't let it come into your mind. Don't even entertain the thought that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And of course, that word fulfill, they say, well, fulfill means it's done away with. When it's fulfilled, it's fully preached. It's shown to the perfection that it was supposed to have been shown to be. Yahshua became the law. Okay? After he became the living word of our Creator. And part of that living word of our Creator is the law. And he says here, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away. Well, Did the heaven and earth pass away and nobody remembered to tell me? Because if the heaven and earth doesn't pass away, he says here, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Well, here he just said he came to fulfill, and now it's till all be fulfilled. But what's he say about people that want to break the least of the commandments? Next verse, Matthew 5:19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least of these commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Now this is in the New Testament here. They at least call it a New Testament. It's actually volume 2 of the Scriptures. But he says right here, he says, if he breaks the least of the commandments, and shall teach men so, just like every preacher, every priest out there is doing, he'll be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Now, some people think the least in the kingdom of heaven would probably be, someone that cleans dung off the bottom of sandals from cattle, and camels or goats or whatever. They get in there and they just clean out them sandals. That's the lowest, right? Or the least? Not actually. Let's take a look at Malachi. That's Malachi, chapter 4. Now, this here book is the book just before Matthew. Okay? Excuse me. The book before the so-called New Testament. This is the last chapter in this book, and I'm going to read it for you, and it's pretty amazing, because a lot of people think there's heaven and there's hell, and that when you die, you go right straight to heaven, or you go right straight to hell, and nothing could be further from the truth. When you get burned up, it's going to be quick, if you get burned up. It says here, Malachi 4 verse 1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. The day, not forever, but the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, says Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that reverence my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth, and grow up as calves in the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked. Now these are the ones that break the law. These teach others to break the law, and this is what the least in the kingdom really is. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet, in the day that I shall do this, says Yahweh of hosts. Then he says, for whatever ridiculous reason I guess most people want to think, remember ye the law of Moshe my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel with his statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send Eliah, the prophet, before the coming and great and dreadful day of Yahweh, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Well, there you have it. See you next time.